My hands tremble so fiercely I can barely clutch the phone. The TV in this sterile hospital chemo ward blares live footage of my home in Willow Creek, Indiana, engulfed in flames. 42 years of memory-esme life reduced to smoldering ash on the evening news, April 12, 2027. My mind screams one name, Cassandra. It has to be her. That venomous woman torched my house. I'm gasping for air, nurses swarming as panic claws at my chest, but all I can think is Cassandra burned my house down. She did it. And God help me, what's she planning next? It all started on a crisp Tuesday morning last September. I'm in the grocery store, reaching for a bag of oranges, when the world tilts violently. One moment, I'm Walter Grayson, a retired attorney trying to hold on to my independence in a new town. The next, I'm sprawled across the produce aisle, strangers' faces looming above me. Chemo had been grinding me down for months, but this was Numi body betraying me in public, stripping away any shred of dignity. That's when Sophie appeared, like some kind of angel. A nurse in her mid-30s, single mom, kind eyes. She helped me up, checked my vitals, and when she saw I couldn't drive, offered to take me home. I should have known then that fate was nudging me toward salvation, because Sophie Larson was about to become my lifeline in ways I couldn't yet fathom. The drive to my house on Maple Lane should have been quiet, just two neighbors chatting. Sophie asked about my move to Willow Creek, mentioned she lived a few blocks away on Birch Avenue, normal stuff. But as we pulled into my driveway, there she was, Cassandra Whitmore, standing on my lawn like she owned it. I'd met her once before, a month after moving in. She'd shown up with a basket of cookies and a 50-page homeowners association manual, insisting I memorize every rule. Even then, her smile felt wrong sharp, like it was hiding teeth. She pried into my finances, my health, my family, her questions slicing too deep for a neighbor. I brushed it off, thinking I could handle an overzealous HOA president. How wrong I was. Cassandra practically pounced on Sophie's car as we arrived. "Walter, oh my heavens, are you okay? I heard you collapsed at the store." She spat the word collapsed like I'd caused a public scandal. Sophie helped me out, her glances at Cassandra laced with something I couldn't read then, but now know was dread. Cassandra launched into a performance, fretting about me living alone with my condition, each word dripping with pity, as if cancer were a personal failure. Then came her offer. "Walter, you shouldn't burden yourself with HOA duties or home maintenance. Let me handle everything: paperwork, meetings, even your appointments." Warning bells should have screamed, but chemo fog dulled my instincts. Cancer doesn't just eat your body. It gnaws at your spirit, your clarity. Here was this woman, offering to lift the weight of daily life. I was exhausted, so I let her in. Sophie shifted uncomfortably, stepping back as Cassandra extracted my medical schedule, emergency contacts, even a spare key for emergencies. When Cassandra finally left, Sophie lingered at my door, her face tight with unspoken words. "Be careful, Walter," she said, her voice low. "I'm at 312 Birch Avenue if you need me. Don't hesitate." I laughed it off, careful of what, a pushy neighbor? But her eyes held something heavier: fear, pity, knowledge. That night, swallowing my pills in the quiet of my kitchen, I felt a flicker of gratitude. At 69, battling stage 2 pancreatic cancer, a widower for 9 months, I'd stumbled into a community that seemed to care. Cassandra's concern felt genuine, her promises to help a relief. She'd mentioned aiding other seniors through transitions, and I thought I'd lucked out. I should have asked what those transitions were. I should have questioned why a real estate agent was so eager to manage my life. My gut churned, but I ignored it, blinded by 40 years as a lawyer who thought he could read people. Cassandra became inescapable. Every morning, she'd appear with coffee and a checklist, questioning my memory, my meds, my appointments. "Walter, did you take your 7 a.m. dose? Timing's critical," she'd say. Or, "You seemed confused about your doctor's visit, let's write it down." I wasn't confused, my mind was sharp, but her pitying looks chipped away at my confidence. She convinced me to hand over another spare key, started calling my doctor's office, even suggested I let her manage my bills. "Chemo's hard enough, Walter. Let me handle the stress." It made sense, yet something felt off, like I was being herded toward a cliff. Then came the memory jabs. "You asked me twice about that prescription. she'd say, though I hadn't. Or, you told me your appointment was at 1 p.m., but it's two chemo brains hitting you hard. I started documenting everything, but she'd twist my words, making me doubt my own reality. She was a master at it, planting seeds of uncertainty until I leaned on her more. Worse, Cassandra painted herself as the neighborhood saint. The mail carrier mentioned she'd asked him to watch me, claiming I was confused. My neighbor said she worried I couldn't manage my meds. Even the grocery clerk knew me as the old man who shouldn't drive. Each rumor isolated me further, tying me to her version of reality. I started to wonder if I was slipping. My doctor, Dr. Ellis, began asking about my memory, citing Cassandra's concerns. She'd called ahead, feeding him lies about date mix-ups and repeated conversations. My medical file grew thick with fabricated reports of cognitive decline. When I pushed back, insisting I was fine, Dr. Ellis gave me a patronizing nod, as if I were in denial. The breaking point came when I overheard Cassandra tell Sophie I'd been wandering the neighborhood at odd hours, disoriented. I walked the same route daily at 6 p.m. No wandering, no confusion. Confronting her was a mistake. Her smile slipped for a split second, revealing something icy, predatory. Then the mask returned, wounded and sweet. Walter, I'm just trying to help. If you don't want it, just say so. I thought Emily would have wanted someone looking out for you. Mentioning my late wife was a gut punch, leaving me guilty and silent. That night, Sophie slid a note under my door. Meet me at 8 p.m. Tomorrow, Java Haven on Oak Street. Come alone. I almost didn't go, half convinced I was paranoid. But Sophie's urgent scrawl pulled me there. At Java Haven, Sophie looked like she hadn't slept in weeks, her eyes darting to the door. Walter, listen carefully, she whispered. Cassandra ruined my life 3 years ago, and she's doing the same to you. She'd owned a home on Birch Avenue until Cassandra targeted it for a client, using the same playbook. Fake kindness, manufactured dependency, eroded credibility. Sophie's story ended with a house fire, blamed on faulty wiring, from an electrician Cassandra recommended. She lost everything, forced to sell at a loss. Sophie laid out photos she'd taken of Cassandra entering my home during my chemo sessions, using my spare key. She'd overheard Cassandra and Dr. Ellis plotting to declare me incompetent for an emergency guardianship. Cassandra had done this to 7 others over 8 years for dead suspiciously, 2 in nursing homes. 1, Sophie, escaped but broken. Dr. Ellis was in Cassandra's pocket, his $200,000 gambling debts covered up after a patient died under his care. Sophie's bank records showed Cassandra's $900,000 profit from her victims' forced sales. She wasn't just a bully, she was a predator. Then Sophie dropped a bombshell. I was still on Willow Creek's emergency judge list. When Judge Larson fell ill, I'd been assigned to handle urgent cases, including Cassandra's guardianship petition against me, set for tomorrow. The irony was poetic. We planned for hours, Sophie coordinating with an insurance investigator tracking Cassandra's fire claims. I'd play the frail old man until the hearing, letting Cassandra think she'd won. Tomorrow, she'd face Judge Grayson, not the broken man she'd crafted. In the courtroom, I sat behind the bench, robes heavy with purpose. Cassandra strode in, confident, her lawyer clutching a briefcase of lies. Then she saw my nameplate, Hahn. Judge W. Grayson. Her face paled, her step faltered, the briefcase slipping from her hand. Her lawyer, oblivious, prepped his case until she whispered frantically. He requested a sidebar. I denied it, my voice steady. Sophie entered with evidence recordings, photos, financial trails while federal agents posed as court staff. Cassandra's case unfolded. Fake medical records, neighbor testimonies, Dr. Ellis's lies about my decline. When I spoke, Ms. Whitmore, you're seeking guardianship of me, claiming I'm incompetent, the room froze. Sophie's testimony obliterated Cassandra's lies, her recordings of Cassandra laughing about my dependency drawing gasps. Dr. Ellis confessed everything, exposing the blackmail. Agents arrested Cassandra mid-hearing for elder abuse, fraud, and conspiracy. She screamed about bias, but I was legally untouchable. Her threat, "This isn't over, Walter. I know things you've forgotten," chilled me, its meaning unclear. 3 months later, at her trial, Cassandra faced justice. Sophie's evidence, Dr. Ellis's testimony, and victim stories painted a damning picture. Cassandra's $1.3 million empire crumbled. The jury convicted her on all counts: elder abuse, fraud, conspiracy in under 5 hours. Judge Harper sentenced her to 23 years, no parole for 19. But at sentencing, Cassandra's final words froze me. "Check your mailbox, Walter." Months later, Sophie uncovered the truth. My late wife, Emily, had exposed Cassandra's brother, a negligent surgeon, leading to his suicide 25 years ago. Cassandra's scheme was revenge, meticulously planned since Emily's death. The mailbox held a letter, its contents so twisted I still can't speak of it. But that's another story. So what do you think? Was Cassandra just a cold-blooded predator, or did her brother's death twist her into this? What was in that mailbox that still haunts me? Should I share that next? Drop a comment, hit like, subscribe, tell me where you're watching from. This nightmare's far from over.